Hi, I'm Glenn Tompkins with Sutton Group Select Realty. Today I wanted to go over with you the report from CMHC, the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation. Their business is insuring mortgages for the banks that we take out. So they're very interested in knowing where the market's going, and they put out reports occasionally, and we can all look at them and read them, go through them, so that we have a good idea of where the market is going and where we sit. So first we're going to look at a regional overview of Ontario. Now we've had a slow few years. That's all. I think we can all agree on that. But a slow few years, but it's starting to speed up a little bit. There is some positive economic growth. It's slow, but it is there. Existing house prices are expected to rise and sales are expected to rise as this income growth happens. We have lower prices with lots of inventory, and we have reduced mortgage costs as well, and some flexibility in mortgages. That'll help to boost demand for properties. Now, the high resale inventory and the weak sales has led to a very muted average home price in the market. But CMHC feels that this is going to start to pick up in 2027 and on into 2028. So the existing home sales are poised to grow as the economic challenges start to fade that we've had in the past few years, because it's been pretty tough for a lot of people. But that is starting to turn around and the economics is starting to grow. Ontario's non-trade dependent industries, they're also going to be a stabilizing effect on the market. They're going to keep the overall labor market conditions from worsening. So when that happens, there's people working at longer time at their job and getting better pay at their job. So that will stabilize the market. Now, sales are projected to grow and to rise across Ontario, especially the major areas like Toronto in 2026 and continuing on up to 2028. So that's by the end of this year, they see it starting to grow for the next couple of years. Now, why is that? There's three reasons. There's improved affordability. So income growth is outpacing home prices right now. It's hard to believe, but that's what's actually happening. And this also married with extended amortizations in mortgages. This makes it easier for buyers to get into their first home or even into a better home. And you might think, okay, that's going to cost me a fortune in interest. And if you stayed with the 30-year, yeah, it will. But get into the house, you can afford it. And then as your income grows, your job stability grows, you can start putting more money against your mortgage. And most banks lenders will allow you to do lump sum, weekly, monthly, however you have it set up, so that you can pay down your mortgage, just the principal, and that reduces the amortization naturally through that process. There's also household formation. So with a higher inventory and lower prices, that allows a portion of the previously suppressed households to get a house. So as the prices have come down, more people are able to look into getting into the market. It's actually getting into the price range now where they can afford it. And they're in a good position because you buy now when it's low. Well, the market's going to get stronger. The value will go up. So they're going to be in a good position by taking advantage of these low prices in a little bit weaker market. We also have increased first-time buyer. Now, this participation helps to initiate subsequent move-up properties. So you buy into a house, the people you're buying from are moving up. It helps that process to happen. Now, I know for the last few years, myself, I've hardly worked with any first-time buyers. It's always been resale and moving around, moving up, moving out. But in the last little while, there have been more and more first-time buyers. So we can see that actually starting to happen. But the sales are going to stay low. They're going to be below the 10-year average. It's due to the overall limited purchasing power, still a lot of people struggling, low consumer confidence, and a weak population growth. Now, what about the London overview? Now, in London, we have a unique situation here. Our sales are expected to trend higher as the economic conditions stabilize. And we can see it even now. Many of us were talking, and we can see there's more and more home sales and purchases happening all the time in the market. And we're looking forward to 2027, 2028, when these improved economic conditions and a pent up demand. See, a pent up demand, there's a certain group of people that need to buy or sell their home, and they're waiting perhaps to clear up some debts, or they're waiting to be able to afford it, or they're waiting to see if they can get a better price for their property. There's been growth in the key industries. There's electric vehicle, the battery plant down in St. Thomas, the defense vehicle manufacturing. These are strong industries in our area, plus all the other smaller industries that support them. So we're going to see by the end of this year, 2026, housing starts in London are expected to stabilize and to be more of a normal, flatter market. But they're expected to rise gradually throughout 2026. And hi, it's Glenn Tompkins from Sutton Group Select Realty. Today I want to discuss with you a report from the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC, as many of us know it by. And it's a report of the region, Ontario, and also locally, the London St. Thomas area. So Ontario's housing market, as we know, has been slow. There's been slow economic growth in the province and in our region, but it has been growing very slowly. Now, existing home sales are expected to follow, slowly going up as the economy grows and as income growth improves. Now, we've all seen that as realtors. The last few months, things have been getting better. We're selling more and more homes. Now, part of this is the lower prices. We have a very high inventory of homes on the market right now. We have reduced mortgage costs and also flexibility in mortgages that's helping people to buy. Now, the high resale inventory and weak sales has led to a muted average sale price. Prices are still down from where they were a few years ago. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But CMHC feels that these are going to start picking up in 2027 and 2028. We're going to start to see some upward movement. So is now a good time to sell and buy and make a lateral move to improve your home, or perhaps to buy your first one? Well, existing home sales are poised to grow as the economic challenges of the past couple of years pass. Now, it's been pretty tough the last few years, but we see it improving. Ontario's non-trade dependent industries are continuing to provide stability. It's going to keep the overall labor market conditions from worsening. So there's going to be people having stable jobs and making a stable income and even an improved income. Now, sales are projected to start rising in Ontario, in the major metropolitan areas of the province, starting this year and continuing through 2028, as they have forecast on CMHC. Now, why is that? Three things. There's improved affordability. Income growth has outpaced home prices. It's hard to believe that I'm saying that, but people are actually making more money, so they're able to afford a home. There's extended amortizations of mortgages, and that makes it easier for people to get into the home that they want. There's also household formation. That's the second one. The higher inventory and lower prices are allowing people to enter into the market. So those that were suppressed households, those that just couldn't get into the market because of the prices right now, they're able to actually get a home. There's also increased first-time home buyers. And that's so true, because I've noticed that myself. For the last couple of years, I hardly worked with any first-time buyers, but now I'm starting to work with them again. So this is true. It is starting to happen. But sales are expected to stay below the 10-year average that we've had. So why is that? Well, there's lower purchasing power. There's not as many people working. There's consumer confidence is not great. And also a weak population growth. There's not as many people or fewer people to buy. So what's the London overview? What about our region right here? Well, our sales are expected to trend higher and higher as the economic conditions stabilize. So as things get stable here in the London area, St. Thomas area, we have in the next couple of years till 2028, we have improved economic conditions coming because of pent-up demand, people that have to move or have to sell, and there's growth in key industries. We have a huge battery plant going up in St. Thomas. We have a defense vehicle manufacturing plant here in London. These are two industries that are growing and providing key jobs and stability to the market. Now, as far as housing starts, that's for new housing. They're expected to be stable through 2026, not to grow or increase tremendously. But they're expected to rise gradually after this year, 2026. And this is because of row housing, condominiums, townhouses, those kinds of things that are more affordable to first-time buyers or to those that are looking to downsize and get out of a big house, with all the kids. They want something that's affordable, less maintenance, or even just knowing this is what our budget is for the month. And so we know what to do with it. So what's the overall forecast, though, for London? Well, it says that there's going to be new homes, lots of them, up to 1,300 over the next year, lots of resale homes, and they could sell for an average of up to $680,000. And then in 2028, they're looking at 9,000, up to 9,000 resale homes, selling between 640 and 710 on average. So you can see the house prices starting to go back up. The average is starting to go back up. So what does that mean for us? Well, we've all experienced a real swing in the markets in the last few years, from boom to bust to flat. That's where we're all right now. So I think, is it a good time to buy? When's the best time to buy anything? It's when the price is low or it's on sale. So are we facing that right now? Let's look at some of the real numbers. We're going to look back to July 2022, and that's right after the whole boom kind of busted. It was pretty much over by then. The average price of a condominium, and that's any condominium, any type, it's the average price of all the condominiums, was $541,000. Now, in July of this past year, the average price for any type of condo altogether was $470,000. That's quite a drop. That's $71,000 less for the same types of condos. So what does that tell us? Is it a good time to look at buying a home, perhaps buying a condo? We're going to see lots of townhouses and lots of row houses going to be built in the next few years. Well, I encourage you to reach out to me. Let me have this conversation with you. Let's crunch the numbers and see what works best for you so that you can get yourself into a home in a stable economic situation and to make sure you can have a nice place to be with your family. This has been Glenn Tompkins, Sutton Group Select Realty, and you have a great day. Thank you.